Hello and welcome. My name is Zaffar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. A probe has been ordered after a video showed school students attending an online satsang of Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim, a rape and murder convict who is out on a parole. The online satsang was organized at Vishnu Vatika lawn in Uttar Pradesh, Shahjahanpur district on November 17, and the event was attended by a large number of people, including 300 children. You can see from those visual children walking in. They were in school uniform and were accompanied by their teachers. Now, reports say the satsang was projected on a giant screen to over 2,000 attendees. Earlier, BJP leader and former Karnal mayor were among the followers who sought his blessings, the blessings of Ram Rahim, virtually when he did that satsang. He had also released music albums on Diwali. Ram Rahim is on a 40-day parole. Remember, uh, he was he has been convicted for murder and rape. To speak on this, we're joined by an eminent panel. We're joined by Advocate H.C. Arora, who challenged Ram Rahim's parole in the High Court. We're also joined by Cynthia Stephen, women rights activist. We're also joined by Sanjay K. Chadha, who's a lawyer in the Supreme Court. And we are joined by Ranjeeta Mehta, who's a political commentator. Ranjeeta, if I may start with you, isn't it bizarre that a person who is convicted of murder and rape is out on a parole?
Zafar, this is contradictory because if we talk about during the Congress government, a very famous no, gangster named Satinder Gyong, he was on regular payroll by that government, and that particular time instead of doing good works, उस समय वो रंगदारी मांगता है, वो बार बार लोगों को तंग करता है, उसके बाद उसका इनकाउंटर करना पड़ता है इंस्टेड ऑफ। अगर अब राम रहीम की बात करते हैं, इन्होंने ड्यूरिंग दिस 40 डेज पेरोल 5,000 लड़कियों की शादी करवाई है, इन्होंने अनाज बांटा है गरीबों में, इन्होंने ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप्स लगवाए हैं, टूटे हुए मकानों को रिपेयर कराया है, और साफ सफाई के मामले में तो इनकी जो मैनेजमेंट है उसकी कोई बराबरी नहीं है, दो ही इज अ
But
कन्विक्टेड मुजरिम।
but
बट
how can all that justify? He has been convicted by a court of law in a
ही
case
हैज
of
बीन कन्विक्टेड
murder
बाय
and
आज
another case of rape.
आज
Yeah.
हमारे बीच में आज हमारे बीच में लॉयर भी बैठे हैं। क्या एक सजा याफ्ता आदमी को पेरोल मिलना गैर कानूनी है? क्या उसका ये मौलिक अधिकार नहीं है कि उसको पेरोल मिलनी चाहिए? अगर पेरोल मिलने के बाद वो कोई गलत काम करता है या किसी गलत एक्टिविटी में पाया जाता है तो उसकी पेरोल रद्द कर दी जाती है और दोबारा उसको पेरोल नहीं मिलती। इससे पहले भी 40 दिन की जब पेरोल दी गई थी, जो द कंडक्ट ऑफ द विक्टिम वाज वेरी गुड, उसी बिहाफ के ऊपर उसको दोबारा दी गई है। मैं सीरीज ऑफ चीजें गिना रही हूँ कि 5,000 लड़कियों की शादी करना, अनाज
Yes,
बांटना,
yes,
ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप
we heard that, but
लगना।
that's sort of a strange comparison. Uh, SC Arora, he was released on a parole, but can he engage in such activities? Releasing of video albums, holding satsangs in which school children are participating.
Actually, what I challenged was that there is Section 8 in the Haryana Good Conduct Prisoners Act, according to which parole cannot be given to a prisoner in case there is likelihood of breach of peace. My whole argument for the court was, and that is my submission before all of you also, that this was a case where breach of peace was very imminent and likely. The same happened in Punjab outside the deras of this Ram Rahim. Clashes were averted by the police with great effort. One of his followers has been killed in broad daylight. And what you have seen in Uttar Pradesh, that also proves that peace has been breached on account of release on parole. So under Section 8, it should not have been granted. That was my apprehension also, which has come true now. So now it should be
No,
cancelled.
the question that I'm asking, since he has been released, can he engage in such activities? There must be compelling reason to release a person on parole. But if a person is released, obviously there would be reasons, and it would be legal to release him. But after his release, can he do virtual satsangs? And isn't it strange that students in their uniforms are taking part in those satsangs? Cynthia, Stephen, uh, isn't this it's you can see from those visuals, people going in, students in their uniforms. How can this happen? How can students take part in a satsang which is being led by a person who's out on a parole and who's a convicted criminal? Convicted for rape and murder.
See, the thing is, I definitely agree with you. It is a shocking breach of protocol. And I would say that it's not only it's a dereliction of duty by the teachers and the school authorities, allowing such participation by young girls in school uniform. And but this is not all. I was also shocked to see earlier how he was being welcomed with the dances, in public by his followers. And also, I was also checking the history. This man was released for 3 weeks in February 7th, and then again he went out he was sent out on parole, on the 17th of June, during which Punjab elections took place on the February of
Yes, yes.
in February.
Yes,
Punjab election took place.
that's an important point. We'll come to that. But Sanjay, Chadha, don't you think that the court should intervene? How can students take part in such an activity? Should answers be sought from the school which allowed it?
Well, Zaffar, I have a difference of opinion here. What I
Yeah.
feel, when you say that he cannot do satsang and other things, now there are two parts of it. One is, as you said, whether he can do it or not. I say he can very well do it. What is illegal in it? One.
Yeah.
Second is that you think that you means the people, anybody who is challenging it. My honorable Mr. Arora is sitting there. He has challenged it.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if somebody feel that school authorities should not have sent the students, then that is a
Yeah.
separate thing. You can go and
Yeah.
ask the school authorities why they have sent the
You know,
students. What is the requirement? Is it so? I feel, as far as Baba is concerned, he is on release on parole. He can do all the positive thing. Negative, the parole law says that it is violated only and only when you do some breach to it. Satsang,
no,
doing
but you think
marriages, all these things are not illegal.
satsang may not be a breach legally, but there is a moral question. What is the messaging going out here? There are families
Very, very, very
who have
true.
been the families of victims. What sort of a message is being sent to them?
Morality and law are two separate aspects, Jafar Bhai. We have to appreciate
Yeah.
that. We have to differentiate between the two. Morality is different. It is immoral or whatever. Morally, it is incorrect. I can very well stand with you. But illegal, it is not illegal per se, if you ask me. If he does marriages, whatever Mehta ji was saying, if all those things he is doing, he should be rather, if somebody is welcoming, somebody comes on parole, if people are dancing
So,
for it, it is not illegal. Nobody can challenge this parole. Of course, the
so
more moot question here should be why he is out again and again on parole. Because parole has its
exactly,
own rules. That is
exactly, and you would agree that it can't be a coincidence that he's out just before the elections in Himachal, and by-elections in Haryana. Earlier also, he was released on parole just before the Punjab elections. Cynthia Stephen.
Yes, correct. And now the forthcoming elections are there in Himachal and also in Haryana. And he is doing virtual satsangs. I'm not talking here about the legality or the illegality of it. But here I would say that clearly there is a connection between the political establishment in the state concerned, Haryana, in northern states, Punjab, Haryana, etc., and the timing of this man's release to coincide with the elections. Obviously, the authorities or the political establishment there feels that there is some benefit to be got by releasing this man. Now, this man has been convicted in the court of law and is a convict. Whether he has a right to parole or not is definitely a point. But does he have a right to parole for 20 days, within 6 months, from February to November? In 8 or 10 months, he has been released thrice for 20 days at a time, just to coincide with elections. Obviously, there is some kind of quid pro quo. This is what one thing I would like to say. Secondly, to celebrate this convicted rapist and murderer, by the public, definitely. See, when I saw the videos, I tweeted and said that clearly our society has lost its moral compass. Here, the issue is not of legality or illegality. Here the issue is of constitutional morality and social morality. The constitutionally, what is happening is it not subversion of the constitutional provisions, the respect for a certain constitutional process of elections, when a rapist and murderer becomes an arbiter of the outcome, and the authorities in question are trying to reap some political benefit out of it. Let us not
Well,
mix
well,
words. Say he's doing
well.
marriage, conducting
That's
blood
a
bank.
that's a that
Bullshit.
that
I mean, I'm
that's a
sorry.
link that's a link that you can draw. But ST Arora, you are you've challenged his parole. What were the grounds on which he was released, and where does this is this okay for him to do all these activities? Those come under those grounds which led his release.
Actually, the law earlier was different. Now, in April 2022, law has been changed and new law has been brought in place, which permits release on parole up to 10 weeks in a year, maybe once or in two parts. Secondly, for getting parole, you have not required to state any reason whatsoever. You need not state the purpose. So it appears that for the purpose of helping this Ram Rahim to come out frequently, every prisoner has been given this gift in the year 2022. So that is not a good attempt on the part of the Haryana government. They have
So Sanjay Chadha, don't you think it's time to revisit those laws for parole? Here is a clear example that a man has been set out. He has been released on parole, and he's doing all such things which may be legally okay, but there is messaging involved here. There are people. I remember I covered that incident in 2017 when he was arrested. After he was arrested, minutes later, there were violence which erupted in Sirsa and Panchkula, and 30 people lost their lives in that violence.
Zaffar, very, very true. I totally agree with you. First of all, there is a need to revamp, rather revisit the law pertaining to parole as well as parole. Now, I wanted to tell you, first of all, it should be very clear. Every listener should understand this, that every state has its own parole law, because jail as in subject is not a national subject, it's a state law. So every state has made its law to suits its requirement. As Honorable Shri Arora has very rightly said, that in
Yeah.
2022 the law is amended to suit the needs. And we have seen, Zaffar bhai, you will be stunned to know that we have seen various states amending, changing the provisions of parole to suit an individual's need. It is shocking. It is disturbing. It
Absolutely.
is
Absolutely.
against the rule of law, I must say. But anyways, that is going on, and we all are. I treated absolutely wrong as far as the legislature is concerned. Now, here, what had happened to suit is it possible? There are certain requirement. Why a parole is given? Somebody's marriage is there, very close relative. Somebody
Yeah.
died in the family. Something very important which could not have been done if I am seeking an parole. I am not able to do that. That
Yeah.
thing cannot happen. Then only exceptional, remotest of the remote cases, the parole is given. But here, what has
Yeah.
happened? The discretionary powers are given to an official, and as per he exercises his discretion and grants parole. There is I can say that there is a need to have a strong law. Now, I just wanted to, it just reminds me one more thing.
Yeah.
2010, I remember central government's Ministry of Home Affairs has issued a big guidelines to all the states to follow that these guidelines should be followed. Who's following it? So, it's really very sad state of affairs. There is a eminent need to revisit this law. Each state should be. And there
Yeah.
are incidences where the courts have quoted that this law is to be revisited.
I see, Arora, there's a clear need to revisit these laws.
Actually, sir, what I can tell you, in the earlier law, which was existing prior to 2022, there was requirement to state the purpose for which one is seeking parole, and for what purpose, how many days parole can be given, that was also specified. But now
Yeah.
it is free for all the prisoners in the 2022 under the law. You need not give any purpose. So that has been made
Right.
free gift for every prisoner. This is very disturbing. And this
Right.
is what is being put to use by Ram Rahim also. There was no
Yeah.
application saying for what purpose he requires, and it is given.
Ranjeeta Mehta, if you can hear me, don't you think different yardsticks are being used? Uh, he's a person who is sort of who has a large following, uh, who is very popular among his followers. But can an ordinary person who's out on a parole for similar charges indulge in such activities? Isn't there different yardsticks being used for different people? Just because he's influential, he's been released, maybe a coincidence just before the elections are taking place.
जफर आई एम आस्किंग, अगर चुनाव ही मुद्दा है कि चुनावों से पहले उनको पेरोल दी जाती है, तो बड़ौदा का चुनाव, उपचुनाव, उसके बाद इलाहाबाद का उपचुनाव, सारे जो चुनाव है वो कांग्रेस पार्टी जीतती है, तो बेनिफिट बीजेपी ले रही है उनको पेरोल पर लाकर, या किसी और पार्टी को उसका फायदा हो रहा है? पंजाब के अंदर इलेक्शन होते हैं, वो
अभी
पेरोल
अभी
में आम आदमी पार्टी वहां
हिमाचल
पे
का तो अभी
सेलेक्ट,
हिमाचल
अभी
का तो अभी काउंटिंग नहीं हुआ।
हिमाचल के रिजल्ट अभी नहीं आए हैं,
हाँ,
पर जहां जहां
हाँ।
की बात की जाए, वेदर इट इज पंजाब, वेदर इट इज इलाहाबाद, वेदर इट इज बड़ौदा चुनाव, तीनों चारों चुनाव जो है वो बीजेपी हारी है। तो इसका मैसेज क्या है कि और पार्टीज इनको यूज कर रही है पेरोल पे लाकर? Second thing I want to ask,
whatever political parties, we are not specifically talking about one political party, but we're saying just before the elections, can it be mere coincidence? And after his release, we're seeing leaders of BJP, mayors, going and seeking his blessings in a virtual satsang.
And similar thing I can talk about चौटालाज also. जब चुनाव आते हैं तो पेरोल पे चौटालाज भी पेरोल पे जाते हैं, उनके लिए इस तरीके की चीजें क्यों नहीं यूज की जा रही? Why only बाबा राम रहीम? तो देयर आर फॉलोअर्स हु फॉलो राम रहीम, वो उनके भगत हैं, वो उनके आने पर नाचे, वो उनके आने पर सत्संग करें, तो उसमें इलीगल कुछ भी नहीं है। एज मिस्टर चड्डा सेड, आज सुरिंदर गोयन जो थे वो इतना बड़ा गैंगस्टर था, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने उनको पेरोल पे बार बार रिलीज किया, उसके बाद उन्होंने बार बार उसको मिसकंडक्ट जो है किया उसको।
but why do BJP leaders line up to meet him? Why did this mayor just sought his blessings virtually, what is the messaging that goes out? Because as I was saying earlier, there are families of the victims. 30 people died when he was arrested. Even before there, he's been convicted of murder and rape. What will they be getting the message when they're seeing all this happening?
That
Can't
that I
political parties, all political parties, take a joint stand at least on this issue?
that I understand. If a person is going and having blessings of Baba, वो उनका अपना पर्सनल इशू है सर, वो उनका अपना पर्सनल एक धार्मिक उनकी कन्विक्शन है कि वो किसी में विश्वास करते हैं, वो बाबा को मानते हैं, बाबा के रिचुअल्स को मानते हैं, उसका पार्टी से क्या लेना देना है? पहले तो मैं ये बात पूछना चाहती हूँ। आज एक इंसान बाबा का फॉलोअर है, वो बाबा के बाहर आने पे खुश है, वो सत्संग करता है, उसी पार्टी का एक व्यक्ति बाबा के खिलाफ है, वो बाबा के बाहर आने पर उनकी याचिका लगाता है और पेरोल को खारिज करने की कोशिश करता है। तो पार्टी के इसमें क्या लेना देना है? इसमें एक इंसान पेरोल के लिए अप्लाई करता है, हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा उनको जो है पेरोल दी जाती है। गवर्नमेंट का इसमें क्या लेना देना है? बाबर हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट को इसके अंदर सिद्धार्थ मनोहर लाल
we are not mentioning about any government or a political party. We're just generalizing. Can't all the political parties take a stand? Because after all these politicians who are meeting are representatives of people, and people from all walks of life. They represent them. They should set an example. Cynthia, Stephen, you want to come in?
Please. I think it's very important to, I want to point out two very important points that which come out of what Ms. Mehta has just been saying. एक बात तो ये है कि बच्चियों को, स्कूल के बच्चियों को वहाँ ले जाना ये बड़ी क्वेश्चनेबल और इट्स अ ब्रीच ऑफ व्हाट शुड नॉट हैव हैपेंड, इट हैज हैपेंड। ये ब्रीच ऑफ प्रोटोकॉल है, उसमें दो बात नहीं है। आई थिंक शी विल एग्री। एक बात। दूसरी बात, इट इज ये जो आपने कहा सेवरल टाइम्स, आपने पूछा कि क्या मैसेज दिया जा रहा है, और ये जो आदमी है जो इनको बाबा कहा जाता है, शायद मानती हूँ कि उनके बड़े फॉलोअर्स वगैरह हैं और डेरे हैं और सारे लोग उनको मानते होंगे, लेकिन फॉर गॉड सेक ही इज अ क्रिमिनल एंड कॉन्विक्ट बिफोर द लॉ। इनको तो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड आवर सोसाइटी हैज लॉस्ट इट्स मॉरल कॉम्पस। ये लीगल और इलीगल की बात से बढ़कर बात है।
Society has lost its moral compass. Sanjay, Chadha, society has lost its moral compass. That's the point that she's making.
I totally agree with her. No doubt about it. On each and every place you see these things are happening. What has happened to our society? Very true. I totally agree with ma'am on that. And there is a need. So those two things are separate. That's what I wanted to say. If you want to see it, gauge it from moral compass, you have to see that we need to work on our schools. We need to teach our people from the zero that yes, this is morality. This is not giving a very nice message, I must say. What is the message we are giving to the message that anybody who's powerful can get 3 paroles in a span of 6 months? Is it what this message we are giving? And how it is difficult?
It seems that separate laws for the powerful and separate laws for those who are not powerful. They may not get 3 paroles in a matter of 6 months, and they may not be able to engage in satsangs and do other activities. For a criminal who's convicted of similar charges, so it may not be the case for ordinary.
Brother, what you are saying is the truth, and this is what is the agony, I must say. Powerful, I recollect one incident. Salman Khan was convicted in the morning. In the afternoon, he got the bail because he is powerful. Harish Salve appeared. With all due respect to all, it is their profession. Such a powerful lawyers have appeared. But you have to also appreciate that he is the powerful, but he is sentenced. So we are governed by rule of law. Rule of law is existing in this country. We have to make it more and more strong. We have to see that such things become rare and rule of law prevails. That's what I can say.
S.C. Arora, the rule of law has to prevail, but don't you think that such things may continue in the future also? He may again be released on parole, and he may in fact get emboldened. He has released a music video on Diwali, and I was telling you that I covered the story when he was arrested. There are cinema halls in Sirsa that exclusively run his films, where he is the hero, he is the director, he is the music lyricist, and films like Messenger of God, films like Jatu Engineer, there he makes those films, and then he sends people to watch them. Isn't this it's bizarre? S.C. Arora?
प्लीज मैं तो यही कहना चाहूंगा कि जब ये बहस हो रही है कि मॉरल है कि नहीं है उसको मिलना मंत्रियों का, मेयर का, एमएलए का, तो मैं यही कहूंगा कि ये जो एमएलए हैं, मेयर हैं, मिनिस्टर हैं, इनका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के प्रति भी कुछ ना कुछ दायित्व है, कुछ फर्ज है, कुछ ड्यूटी है। यदि वो समझते हैं कि उनके पर्सनल बिलीफ आगे हैं और जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ड्यूटी है वो पीछे है, तो उन्हें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ड्यूटी छोड़ देनी चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से। मैं यही कहूंगा।
तो आपको क्या लगता है आगे क्या होगा अब, क्योंकि आप तो इस केस में वकील भी है?
आगे देखते हैं कि दोबारा पैरोल देते हैं तो किन शर्तों पर देते हैं, क्योंकि इनका जो नया एक्ट बनाया है, चड्ढा साहब सुन रहे हैं, उसमें इतनी खामियां हैं कि उसमें कंडीशन को क्या लगानी चाहिए, क्या नहीं लगानी चाहिए, इसके बारे में भी साइलेंट है, टोटली पर्पस के बारे में साइलेंट है। तो इस कानून को बदलना होगा।
There needs to be clarity, and perhaps the conclusion that we can draw at the end of our discussion is that there is perhaps a need to revisit those laws to see that at least the messaging that goes out in the society is the right messaging. You want to come in quickly, Sanjay?
Yes, there is not only the need to revisit, but there is a need that the central government should act. Central government should provide a framework for all the states to follow, because it is a state subject, and a similar law should be there for the entire country. That's what my take on the subject is.
Yes. On that note, we come to the end of our discussion. Thanks to all our panelists for joining us, and thanks for watching.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.